Lecture. So we have studied about the operating system. Okay, we have just to understand the basic concepts about the operating system. What is an operating system? Basically, operating system is a set of programs or collection of programs that manage and control any computer system. Okay, computer hardware is just a machine. We need to operate that machine by using any operating system. Okay, if we want to perform any kind of task, any kind of functionalities on computer, we need to have any operating system in our hardware. Okay, so first of all we will install any operating system in our computers, and then these computers are able to work. Okay, so as you have Windows or maybe other operating systems in your laptops or maybe systems. So all of these are what operating systems. They make enable any system to perform different tasks. Okay. So it is basically any interface between the user and the computer hardware. Okay. When we see the screen, it show us different icons. Okay, where we can perform different tasks. So this is a basically interface for interaction. User just can interact with the computer using any kind of operating system. Okay, a computer, a system to ensure consistency across the range of devices. Okay, all the devices are managed by the software. So there are different common examples of operating system, and then we have seen some mobile operating systems, and then we have seen that how this operating system loaded into the memory. Okay, let's have a quick recap of all these concepts and then we will start our today's lecture. So what is basically an operating system? As already I have told you that it is a collection of programs that manage and control all the hardware and softwares in our computer. It acts as a platform for launching different applications. Okay, if you want to install any application, any other software on your computer, you need to first of all have any operating system before like without operating system you can't install and you can't launch any other applications, and you are not able to perform any kind of functionalities. It acts as a platform for launching applications. It means that, for example, right now we are using Zoom on our systems, on our PC, on our laptops. So for Zoom application, before to install this application, we need to install any kind of operating system. Like in my laptop right now, I have Windows. Okay, so you may have other operating systems in your laptops. It serves as an interface between user and computer hardware. Okay, so when we want to interact with hardware, we are not able to perform different functionalities without the interface. Okay, if we don't have different interface icons, we are not able to use this. Okay, if you want to open like Google Chrome, so you have basically any kind of icons there. Okay, so these are basically the icons we have using operating system. Like if I want to use Google Chrome, I can use the icon. Okay, if I want to use WhatsApp, I have icon here. If I want to use Google Scholar, I have icon here. If I want to use YouTube or IEEE, or I can add here different other icons. This means that it providing us user interactive interface. So by using these interactive interface, we can interact with our computer and with our hardware. So it means that Windows or maybe other applications and other operating systems, sorry, They provide us a user interface environment. So it providing us the interface, okay? It ensures the consistency of different devices. When we are talking about hardware, it means that we may have the system, and we have the screen there like monitor, and we have keyboard, we have mouse, and we can have different peripheral devices attached with our computer. Okay, all of these devices are managed by our operating system. When we install any kind of operating system in our hardware, it basically ensures that we are able to use all of other devices. Okay, like if you want to use keyboard and mouse without operating system, you are not able to use that. Okay, so that's why for everything, like if you want to perform any task, if you want to launch or maybe install different applications and softwares on your computer, and if you want to manage different devices, if you manage and control different softwares and hardwares, you will use it by installing different operating systems. Okay, there is other example of operating systems in our computers, so we will see them one by one. In our computers, basically there are different kind of operating systems. Okay, first of all we have Microsoft Windows. Okay, so the company Microsoft have made Windows for us. It is widely used, like everyone almost use Windows. So it is user friendly. What does mean by user friendly? It means that it providing us the icons and a user interactive environment where any kind of users, like who have well knowledge about the computers, and even if they are not having any kind of knowledge related computers, they can use these windows. Okay, like it is providing us the facility that everybody can use, even kids can use computers because it is user friendly. So there is another operating system which is macOS. It is Apple exclusive and secure and polished. So when we have Apple company basically providing us the more secure operating system, so we use it if we want to make sure the security and the protect our data. So we have macOS. So there is another operating system which is Linux and PSP. So these are not much commonly used, but there are also some people use this according to their needs and according to their requirements. So these are open source and customizable used in servers. Basically, mostly Linux is used in servers like the big computers, which is used to process and store more data. So it is customizable because it can be used for different purposes. So that's why we are using it. So BSD means it is Unix based operating system, and it is also popular due to its security and performance purposes. So we use different kind of operating systems depend upon our needs, but mostly we need Windows because it is user friendly. And if someone using Apple's computers, and they will have definitely then macOS. So there are other examples related mobile operating systems. So these are iOS and Android. So mostly in different mobiles we have Android. It is open source, customizable and globally dominant. Mostly like people have Android. So the other if you have iPhone, so definitely there will be iOS operating system in that. So as you already know that Apple provides us the more secure operating system for mobiles and for tabs or maybe for systems. Okay, it integrates with Apple ecosystem. So it is for like Apple devices. So there is an other operating system which was embedded operating system. There are three kind of operating systems. First of all, we have the computer operating systems, And then we are talking about mobile operating systems, and then there is a third type for operating system, which is embedded operating systems. So basically, embedded operating systems are like every device built in operating systems. So they are single purposes. Basically, they are customizable operating systems. Okay, they just perform a single task. Like in our TVs, we have a fixed operating system. We can't change it. Okay, and it is built in. We don't need to install that system. Like nowadays, in printers also we have operating system. Definitely, nowadays we mostly use almost everything. We are using automotive systems, okay, as autonomous cars, and there are so many things like AC, like automatic machines, automatic washing machines, and there are so many other things. So in every single machine we have their embedded operating systems for particular purposes. Okay, they are lightweight and tailored for specific hardware. Okay, if we are talking about the software embedded operating system, which is installed in printer, like built in with printers, so we can't use that embedded software in smart TVs. Okay, so it means that they are specific for a specific hardware. We can't use it for other machines. So these are the basically embedded operating system. And there is the main topic. We will see this topic today in details. Also, we have a build a kind of understanding with these topics before, but today this is basically the overview of today's lecture. You will build a kind of understanding with explain how the operating system is loaded when the computer is turned on. Basically, we are having computer in shutdown condition, and when we turned on that computer, what happens basically, and how the computer start their processing, and how it loaded into the memory, and what kind of like processes and which steps are included in this process. We will see all of these. So basically key stages of boot process, we will study about these processes today. So there are 5 key stages for boot process. So in previous lecture we have talked about what is boot process. Do you know what is boot process?
Boot process. It's like the stages of like the laptop turning on or computer turning on. The stages that it goes through.
Okay, so
Yes.
boot process means that when we are turning on the computer and computer hardware basically going to load the operating system into the memory, it means that booting process has been started now. Okay, so there are different processes steps included in this, which is first boot scrap process, and then we will talk about post MBR and UEFI, then bootloader, and then loading and running the operating system. Okay, so these are basically the main topics we will study about these topics today. So see here, bootstrap is the process of starting a computer from a powered off state. Okay, when you are having a computer in shutdown state, you want to on that computer, like you turn on that computer by pressing the button, and then computer will start the process of booting. Okay, so this is basically bootstrap process, when computer start to loading the operating system into the memory. So origin of the term like this bootstrap word came from the statement pulling oneself up by one's bootstraps. Do you have listened this idiom before?
No, I haven't heard of this thing.
Okay. It means that,
Yeah, no idea.
okay. It means that from the impossible state, we are trying to do something. Okay. Like the computer is in a state of powered off. Okay. And we are trying to turning on that computer. So basically, it came from this idiom, pulling oneself up by one's bootstrap. What is the goal of bootstrap process? Why we are using bootstrap? Like we want to initialize the system hardware and load the operating system into our memory. Okay. Like when we are talking about memory, there is two kind of memory, which is first of all we have temporary memory, which is RAM, and there is another type of memory which is hard disk, hard storage, basically where we store the all data permanently. So basically, when we are talking about bootstrap process, it happens in RAM. So when we're turning on any computer, it starts the loading the operating system into the memory, which is RAM. Okay. So this is basically the goal of bootstrap process where we want to initialize and begin the system hardware and load the operating system. So there is another concept, power on self test, which is post. Post is basically abbreviation of power on self test. What is the function of power on self test? It is basic hardware diagnostic to ensure the components are working or not. Basically, when we start computer, it ensures that the all the hardware included in our like system is working properly. Like if we are talking about, let's see its steps, like CPU initialize, like central processing unit is working or not, basically checked by the power on self test, like by post. It checks that RAM, like random access memory, and other storage devices if we have in our system, like everyone have, and peripheral devices. What are peripheral devices? Do you know about that?
Sorry, can you repeat again?
What are peripheral devices?
No. Maybe like I think so, like keyboard or the output systems
Yes, yes,
or
yes,
accessories, something like that.
yes. All the devices we attached with our system and we want to take some kind of like advantages from these devices. All these devices are peripheral devices. This may be all the input devices, all output devices, like all the devices attached to our system are called peripheral devices. So basically, the power on self test ensure that all the components, all the parts of the hardware, and all the devices attached to our system right now, all are working, all, all are in correct state, and all are performing their task correctly. Okay, it checks basically all the devices, and then it identifies hardware errors, like if we have any kind of errors related hardware, so it will identify. Like when we are talking about post, it basically start the CPU, like central processing unit, then it check the RAM, their presence, and is the RAM working correctly or not, is the RAM able to store data and process data, and then it will see that storage devices are working or not. So we have to take data we have permanently stored on our storage devices. So if storage devices are not working and if they are not in correct form, so we are not able to perform any kind of functionalities. Like if we want to like access our data we have already stored on our storage devices, and the storage devices are not able to perform this task, then this is checked by the post. Okay, so it basically protect us from a situation where we are not able to use these devices. It basically identify before getting any kind of errors in our hardware, or like missing keyboard and faulty RAM. As I already have told you, if there is any kind of issue in RAM or storage devices or maybe peripheral devices, boost post will check all of these and also identify that which kind of the error and which kind of the problem is occurring. That's why these devices are not able to perform the functionalities. So after identifications, it will correct those all things, and then our computer will be able to perform all the functionalities. What are the output of post? So you listen any kind of beep sound when you turn on any computer?
Yeah. Yeah. There are sounds, yes.
Yes. So post basically when we start any computer and it basically load the all the like components and operating system into our RAM, it basically produce a beep sound, and it also detect any errors, and it diagnostic messages. Like if there is any kind of hardware error, or maybe anything is missing, or maybe our RAM or storage devices producing any kind of issue, so it will identify those errors. Okay, it will diagnose and produce and generate any kind of message to us, and it will show any kind of messages. So there is another concept like MBR, which is master boot record. So let's see the key features of MBR. I think so. Before jumping to our next topic, started this topic, which is MBR. It is basically master boot record, and let's see the key features of MBR. It is also related boot process. Like in boot process, when we are talking about bootstrap, so like when we are talking about post on, so all of these related bootstrap process. Okay.